I'm Anna Mowat. I work as part of the Sparklers team here in Ōtautahi. I just want to also give you a big shout out because of the level changes, and of course here we've had the 10-year anniversary of the quakes, and I'm just always absolutely amazed at how teachers kind of hold a space very calm for kids in the most extraordinary circumstances. And so I will always be your faithful fan, I guess. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about how a whole class approach can be used to tackle big tamariki emotions like anxiety and you know, just large dysregulated states that we might see with kids in our classrooms. And hopefully this will give you some tips on how to use Sparklers in this way, and we know through some of our research that this approach is working mainly actually because of the teachers who are committed to it and the way that they approach it. So, and that will probably, in fact, it's very, very likely be you. So I guess when it comes to managing big emotions inside of a classroom, the thing to remember is that we all feel anxious sometimes, and we all feel angry sometimes, and we all feel disappointed sometimes, and jealous, and these are really big emotions, but they are very, very normal. And so while we may have one or two tamariki that are finding these big emotions particularly tricky inside of our classroom, at some point we actually all do, and that's, you know, and that's important. So whatever we learn, or whatever your children are learning about managing big emotions, it's going to benefit everyone inside of the classroom. Yeah. And I guess the thing is too that when we single tamariki out, it can sometimes exacerbate the problem as well. So many times children who are dysregulated, and that's occurring regularly often for them, they feel like they're the only ones, and feel very alone in it. Or often they'll feel too that, or they'll feel also that there might be something wrong with them. You know, they might feel alone in it, but they might also feel like there's something wrong with them. They're the only ones that this happens to or occurs for. Yeah. So taking a classroom approach can be particularly reassuring when you're talking about big emotions, because then they get a sense that other people experience this stuff too. Yeah. And one of the things that's come out of our own research here, looks like that, and you'll find that on Sparklers' website, is that it was a surprising outcome actually. And what happened is we always created Sparklers for a population, for everybody, a population level approach. But what we discovered in this is that teachers who had tamariki that were finding big emotions tricky also really engaged with Sparklers, and it was making a difference for them in terms of our research. So, and we think the reasons for that is because, and you know, teachers told us the reasons for that is because Sparklers is fun, it looks relaxing and calm. It also looks like something that they want to be involved with. So if something's relaxing and calm or something's fun, we want to be involved with that. And then the other thing is that you can't really get Sparklers wrong. So the questions that are asked within Sparklers for tamariki are not right or wrong answers. They're just our kind of feelings and thoughts and how we experience things. Yeah. And I think again, tamariki find that really reassuring. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. We're very proud of that result. So the key steps in managing emotions are always one, normalizing emotions, and being emotionally literate, which you know a lot about. Yeah. Two is being validating emotions, and Dr. Daniel Segal, who's our American psychiatrist, where a lot of the brainwave trust information comes from, or neuroscience that we're seeing through comes from his work. He uses the term, you've got to name it to tame it. So naming an emotion helps us work our way through it, which is kind of a piece of magic, I think. And then thirdly is having some strategies which are super well practiced, so that when things become tense, and even before things become tense, children start to recognize that and know what to do. Yeah. So what I thought I'd do is take you through some of the ways that we can do those three things in Sparklers. And again, because this is a whole classroom approach, this is for everybody. You do this inside of your classroom with tamariki. You can do it outside if you want to, just whatever suits you. But we know too that with Sparklers, a little and often makes a big difference. And we would say probably 4 times a week. And tamariki find their favourites. And that's the sort of beautiful thing. So whatever they're enjoying, do more of, or have have a little suite of activities, and they get to choose from those as warm-up activities or after lunch break activities. And that way you're getting kind of, you're sort of boosting their well-being, but you also might be having them more prepared for learning, and calmer overall. So, in terms of normalising emotions and being emotionally literate, the easiest way to normalise emotions is to talk about emotions, And so that means that we talk about our own emotions. Oh, I'm feeling a bit hauora today, or how are you guys feeling? I'm feeling a bit, I don't know, tired, whatever's going on for you. That's okay to be able to name that, because when they know that you feel emotions and you're naming emotions, they get very used to what it looks like, what it sounds like, and that these things are utterly, human. Yeah, they're about us. And so, also, one of the things I like doing is reading books about emotions. So there's plenty of those in the library. But my favourite activity is if tamariki have come to me with a book that I don't particularly enjoy, I like to, rather than read the book word for word, just stop and, rather than focusing on the words, focus on the faces of the characters. So even if they're a rabbit or a rubbish tin, but they're a character, they'll still show emotions on their face and talk about that. Oh, look, that rabbit looks like he's feeling a bit frustrated or a bit surprised, and you'll see that in all books, and that's kind of a beautiful thing. I often do it with Cat and Hat because I'm often tired and it's a tongue-twisty book, and it just means that, I can talk about the teapot, the fish, or I can talk about the Cat in the Hat or the children's reactions. Wow, they look like they're feeling a bit worried because mum's coming home. So there's lots of things to kind of add to that. What else can we do to kind of normalise emotions? We can be asking about emotions as well. How are you feeling? I can see you're feeling, although any way and means to sing about emotions, actually, that's a goodie too. And Sesame Street and Kitty and Lou, which is our New Zealand kind of equivalent, have all of those things available. It's amazing what you find on Sesame Street, and they're also great for assembly practice as well, or assembly concerts as well. One of the games that I would recommend in terms of normalising emotions is the Faces game. So that is where children, you can use ice block sticks or just sticks that you find in your garden, and you print off little emoji faces, really, and then you say, how do you feel if you dropped your ice cream? And then the children show what emotion it is that they might feel, and all emotions are perfectly okay. So some might be feeling happy because the last time they did that, they got an ice cream flavour that they didn't even want anyway. Or some of them might be feeling really surprised, some really disappointed, some super angry. And that's all okay. We will link all of the activities at the bottom of this post once it's up. So don't feel like you're missing out. We'll just make sure that we bring them in, okay? So, but Faceless Game is a great one for little ones, or it's a great one for tamariki who aren't used to talking emotions. They might have sad, happy, angry, yeah? And you want to extend that, and that will help with that. The other one I talk about is an emotional roller coaster. So emotional roller coaster, it is an activity that we have on Sparklers, and basically it's everyone gets a little carriage, and we've created a print off for the wall, and it's a great check-in activity. So that might be the beginning of the day, it might be after lunch, and everyone just moves their little roller coaster to where it is that they're feeling. Yeah. In terms of validating emotions, and naming it to tame it, as we talked about, well, I know this is a super favourite actually. It's called Energy Roller Coaster, and what it is it means that tamariki are kind of guided through, coached through their energy levels from a 0 through to a 5. So it might be, you know, from super relaxed and chill right through to super excited, yeah, and really energized, yeah. And then what they do is you work your way up to that, and then you work your way down. And you can also do that with emotions as well. So you might do, you know, feeling a bit apprehensive to nervous to worried, and right up to anxious, and then bring yourself back down again. And it might be, it's a good way to be able to talk to kids about emotions or energy levels. So it might be, say, like, hey, I can see that in this classroom at the moment we're hitting about a 4. We need to bring that down to about a 2, you know, for this activity. And it just gives you a language, a shared language that you all have. And then in emotions you can do exactly the same. Hey, where are you feeling in this emotion right now? Are you feeling about a 4? Yeah, I get it. Okay, cool. What, you know, and then think about what we can do to bring that back down. And you can do that as a class activity, yeah? What else can I tell you? The other ones are these Worries 101 on there, which is a great one in terms of neuroscience. It will take children through what's going on in their brains to have them worry, you know, and that evolution is just catching up, yeah. And there's a nice little handout in there, little activity, and it's kind of reassuring to know that all of this stuff is normal and everyone feels this way, and there's reasons for that, yeah. And there's also managing worries, and there's Hauora as well, which is a nice one, which is kind of like stop and think. So it's about, you know, going out onto the grass, running around and saying things like, again, it might have the ice cream one in there, or it might be, you got invited to a birthday party, you know, rise in emotions, excitement is huge, yeah? And then basically you as the kaiako can say, Hauora. So it's about stopping and thinking and bringing yourself back down to a regulated state, yeah? Then there are also those having some strategies which are super well practiced so that tamariki know what to do in the heat of a big emotion or even before that time. And I would always go to tummy breathing. And it sounds dull and boring, but actually it is a classroom favourite. When I've gone into classrooms, often they want to show me their tummy breathing, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing, because when we're breathing well, we are relaxed, we calm ourselves. It's the one time that when we're breathing well, right down to the base of our tummies, it hits our vagus nerve and it tells our brain to just slow down and you'll be okay. It's comforting, yeah? And so if we can bring that into our ordinary everyday, and children are learning that and they know that's something they can do to calm down, they can do that now and for the rest of their lives. You know, they can do that in a board meeting when, you know, things feel very fiery and upsetting, you know, because these are the things that we, you know, that mean that we can regulate, yeah? And I'd also maybe think about sensory kite, which is like a little box or a basket or whatever of things that you have available in your classroom. And it might be that every tamariki has something different, and it might be that they bring some stuff from home to include in that, or it might be that you have a space and tools or things that they can actually actively do kind of kinesthetically to help them calm down. So it might be you know, like a little squishy ball. It might be, if it was personal to them, it might be a photo of them with their siblings. It might be a piece of cotton wool with their mum's perfume on it. But whatever it is that basically allows them to calm down and has their cortex kind of reform, yeah, because we know that that's the thing that's that kind of disappears when we're in an elevated state, yeah. So again, if we're doing these things inside of our classrooms as a whole classroom approach, everyone benefits from that, yeah. Including the child that doesn't look like they would never need this. They're calm and cool as a cucumber always, but there will always be a time when we're elevated, and there'll always be a time that we can draw on this stuff and help ourselves and you know, in tough moments. I also wanted to let you know that if you're listening right now, you are really welcome to take away, and you can just, how do they let us know? Just comment below, and what we'll do is get in touch with you, and we can send you your very own roller coaster, which we created especially for schools. So you can use that in your classroom, or you can use that in the staff room, and it comes with little sticky on or peelable roller, little carriages, I think they're called. Yeah, those. And yeah, so those are yours to take away. Please, please, please stay in touch with us. We love to feel like we are connected to you in some ways. Often we do this work and we think, oh, I wonder how this will land. Let us know if there's something that's not working for you in your tamariki. We would love to know that. If there's something that is working for you in your tamariki, we'd love to know that too. And if you've got any ideas or you want to be in touch with us, please do. If you hit the contact us hello@sparklers.org.nz, that comes straight to basically our team, me and Jack, and we'd love to hear your questions and hear from you and see how things are going. Cool. But ka kite anō, have a lovely rest of the day. 3:30 on a Tuesday, you did it. Amazing. Yeah, cool. And we'll be back in touch with our EDM, so our newsletter. Please, please, please sign up to that if that's useful for you. And of course, there's our Facebook page. And we will try and have more of these times together as well. Let us know what your questions are, and we can work around you.